Hi guys, welcome to my channel. We are getting closer and closer to the 1400 mark, which is genuinely amazing. If you don't know, I was already at 1400, but then I calmly lost all of my elo, went down to like 1200, and I'm pushing back up. And that position I feel like my opponent should have taken, because now I have all of my pawns on light squares, and honestly I feel like I can trade this. Can I? Yes, I can trade this bishop at some point. Use this move to develop my queen after this exchange. If not, that would open up his rook. But he would have double pawns. I don't have to take yet. I can also jump my knight into the position and then trade off. So I feel like after taking, he might take with the knight and not with the queen, which would be an opportunity to jump in with my knight and force this trade. But who knows? Honestly, when I usually play Caro-Kann, all the exchanges happen in the beginning of the match. So it's kind of weird playing with all the pieces on the board and only one pawn being exchanged. I was hoping he would take and I would develop my knight, but I can also take. It's not a problem. Maybe I can use the fact that this knight is still pinned. Or I can actually jump in with my knight from this side. I didn't really consider it. But I feel like I want to move my queen here, maybe. But then he can just take and I would waste my tempo, so let me make this knight move. It's not a terrible move. Because now if he goes here, I can go for this pawn threat. So he takes and I can develop my queen. I have some sort of attack going on there. I can trade this bishop. It's going to be pretty useless considering his bishop controls this diagonal. And mine can't really come back. So I don't know what this knight is doing here. I feel like I would need to reroute it. And I'm also down on time, like by a lot. So I have to keep that in mind. So he's obviously threatening checkmate. I can defend like this with my knight, and I don't hate this move. Not committing to any pawn moves. I mean, it looks fine. I feel like I can get my other knight into the game like this. But this is kind of a one-move attack. But I also don't have anything better to do in this position. I kind of have to simplify in long term and try to get into a rook endgame where I have this dominant pawn structure. And my opponent has those isolated pawns. Sort of isolated pawns. So he does move his queen. I don't know, I feel like I can bring my rook to the b file. Controlled, but I have to be careful of this pawn. Because it is kind of loose now. I don't know, I feel like my opponent plays really well. I could try to trade off the rooks. Right, and then go for this pawn and this bishop. And that doesn't seem like the worst idea. Because now I'm kind of threatening to take and then gain tempo. Maybe even like this. After I exchange the rooks, and he doesn't really have anything else to do. I also have to be careful to not get back rank mated. So he wants to bring his pawns together, which is not exactly what I want. But maybe after takes, I go here. And then maybe try to check him somehow. But I feel like I can also push the pawn twice. And force him to move the rook. I don't think he's getting anywhere with this queen, to be honest. I mean, he might exchange his bishop, but then it would make it useless. I am not sure what his plan is. He might try to get in with his knight, but he's kind of too late. And I would love to exchange the rooks. Again, I have to be careful to not get back rank mated. Here he thinks that he won this pawn, but I can actually check. Check him go here, and also attack the bishop. This is the only square, and then I can fork the bishop and the pawn. So my opponent kind of miscalculated what he was going to do. Here maybe he shouldn't have taken this. He probably should have brought his queen over maybe. Or moved his king. Sorry. Because then he wouldn't get infiltrated like this. So he's obviously going to go here. Or maybe he could go back, maybe. Deeper into my position, but then those are the only two moves left. And I can keep on attacking him. Doesn't that hang the bishop? He doesn't have any captures, he doesn't have any checks, and he resigns. That was a nice game. Tomorrow hopefully I will be able to pass the 1400 mark again and push my way up to the 1500s, and this was your daily chess video, and I will see you tomorrow.